Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see, we are back inside of the house, back inside the air condition, and we're going to be working in the kitchen today to do some updates and some projects that I didn't do last time around when I was doing projects in the kitchen, and I'll explain why. So let's get started. Okay, the main thing I want to get accomplished in here is to change out this light up here. The reason that I didn't do that when I did the first renovations of my kitchen is because of the type of joist I thought were up there. I thought that they were solid pieces of wood and that in order to put recessed lighting all the way down, I would have to drill through a joist. Well, when I was doing the kids' living room makeover, I discovered that we have like open web trusses, I think they're called, and so I'm able to put wiring between them. Fingers crossed I can, that it's the same kind in here, so I'll be able to add the recessed lighting. But the first thing we need to do is get the light down to see what we're working with. Okay, I got the junction box out and I checked and we have the same open trusses, so we can just run our wiring straight through it and not have to drill through anything, and that makes it so much easier. So if you've been around for a while, you guys know that I'm a perfectionist, so in order to drill these holes for the can lights, I needed something that's gonna make it line up perfectly straight or else it's gonna drive me crazy. And a company sent me a laser level and it is awesome. It's quickly become like one of my new favorite tools. I want to show you guys. Okay, this is how the level comes. It has a bunch of different attachments, so I guess it needs its own little case. But one thing that I like about this level is it's battery operated and they're rechargeable, and it comes with 2 batteries, so you can be charging the other one while you're using the one if you need to use it for a long time. And my favorite part is it comes with this little fob remote control that you can switch different modes. If you just want like horizontal lines, or you can switch to vertical, which is what we are using for these lights right here. We needed the vertical so we can make sure that we have a straight line on the ceiling. So it was very helpful. I'll link this tool down below. You can find it on Amazon. Now that we have the ceiling marked where we want the lights to go, it's time to drill the holes. And I grabbed this little kit from Lowe's. It's just a hole saw that comes with this little clear plastic cover that really cuts down on the drywall dust. And it was way easier to do it than if I were just to kind of draw a circle and use just a drywall knife to try to cut a circle. It was much faster and much easier. Okay, let's talk about wiring. Now, I am not an electrician, I'm not an expert, but a lot of you have asked me about changing light fixtures. And for the most part, this is the information that you need to know. So you usually have a white wire, a black wire, and either a green or a bare wire. That's your ground. And when you are going to be connecting to something, usually it's pretty simple that your black, hold on one second, that your black would line up to your black, your white would line up to your white, and this one has a green, and the green, that's the ground, will go with this bare one right here. And you line them up next to each other, and you take this little nut and you twist until it is secure, and there you go. These are the recessed lights that I'm using.
They come in packs of 2, so I got a total of 4, but I only used 3. And what's really convenient about these is they come with their own little junction box where you make your connections. And so you can just run the wiring from one to the next and not have to put in new junction boxes. So when you wire it like I'm doing right here, you just tuck that box up into the ceiling and this little white wire is hanging down. And after I get it all wired up, I'm going to go in with the actual lights themselves and connect them like this to that little wire. And then they have these springs on the side and then they just through tension hold themselves up. It's really nice to do if you don't already have lighting there, and so when you're adding these later down the road, it's super convenient.
Okay, already that looks so much better than that other light, minus the big hole in the ceiling. But let me show you, when you turn them on, they're super bright. Now, this third one right here is probably gonna start blinking in just a second because I'm gonna need to hook that up to my phone. Okay, there it goes. When I first was trying out the other one, I thought I had connected it wrong, but it's just in pairing mode. I'll show you how cool these lights are. I grouped all of them together and look. You can turn them off. Check this out. Now they're blue. Now they're purple, yellow, green. Or you can just go back to normal. You can program them to turn off at a certain time. They're seriously the coolest lights I've ever owned, for sure. Okay, yesterday we got all of the recessed lighting up. It's looking good. I still need to repair those holes up there, but that's coming later because I want to talk about this one right here. I'm hoping that we can take the wiring that goes to this and that we can add 2 pendants. But first, we got to remove that guy.
Okay, so the lights that I'm going to put here actually do need junction boxes, so I grabbed some new ones from Lowe's, and the ones that I got have teeth on the end of them, and so they are like a hole saw slash junction box, and so it'll just drill its own hole, and then you can pop the junction box right in there and screw it into the drywall.
This is where our power is coming from, the main one. So we have to run a wire from that one to that one, so when we flip the switch, they will both come on.
Now that we've talked electrical, let's talk design. These are the pendants that I decided to go with because they are large and oversized, but also my ceilings are only 8 feet tall, so I knew I wanted some kind of clear globe so you could see through it and it wouldn't obstruct your field of vision. All right, all of our lighting is in and it's time to start repairing all of these old holes. So I'm just taking some scrap wood that I had left over and I'm putting it over the top of that hole, and then I'm taking some screws and drilling through the drywall and into the wood because that will give us something to screw our new drywall into. Now that the drywall is up, I am going over the top of that with some joint compound to cover up those seams, and I'm kind of spreading that out and feathering it out over the entire piece that we screwed in.
Okay, just so you know, if you're doing this at home and you have like a big hole like I did, it's gonna take multiple times to fill it and then sand it a little bit and then fill it again. That's what I did because it was a really big hole, and I sanded it kind of smooth, but now I wanna fine sand the ceiling and get everything smooth, because then we're gonna go back in with some texture to make it match the rest of the ceiling. Okay, everything is nice and smooth, paying like special attention to the edges here. You kind of want to feather those out where they go completely smooth into the rest of the ceiling. Okay, this is the most important part if you have textured ceilings and walls like I do. This is spray texture. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray it on. It's adjustable for how textured your walls are, so we're going to spray it on, and then we're going to let it sit for 4 to 8 minutes, and then I'll show you what we do to match the texture that we have. So you guys can see how important this step is. Okay, this is my master bath, which will be getting a makeover, but someone clearly patched something right here and they did not texturize it. And can you see how it stands out? I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but in real life, it is very obvious that it is different from the rest of the wall. Okay, I've got a timer set. After that goes off, I'm gonna take a putty knife like this, and I'm gonna wet it, and then I'm gonna put it horizontal with the ceiling and just slide it, scrape it across, and it's gonna flatten out and make it look like the texture. It's called knockdown texture, because you're literally like knocking it down, flattening it. It's gonna make it match the texture that's already there. It may take 2 applications of this if you still feel like it's not textured enough, and you just do the same process again. Okay, I'm gonna add another light coat on mine, and then you'll have to wait 2 hours. I'm gonna wait 2 hours to let it dry completely, and then you can paint over it with your paint color and it should blend right in. Okay, all of the texture is dry and it's time to paint. But one thing that I did off camera that I wanted to mention, you can probably see my ceilings are very textured. So I went in with some caulk around the edges of these lights, and also these lights up here, just because I didn't want any light coming through between the ceiling and the little light fixture, because it would be super noticeable. So I caulked that and it filled it right in, and it should also help hold them in place really well. Okay, can you tell where we repaired the ceiling? I can't. That's it for today's video. Make sure that you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any more upcoming projects. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.